Hi, this is Kalyan from Sai Solution. I welcome you all to this session on an introduction to Pure Nature Cure. And I thanks the founder Kuklin Kirti. She's a good friend of mine. She proposed this session, and it's really going to be helpful for all of us to know this particular science. So let's start without delaying further. Let's start the session. Pure Nature Cure and introduction. So to understand Pure Nature Cure, so what is the reason of this session? Because we keep getting a lot of queries that what is Pure Nature Cure and what is the difference between the other fraternities of health and Pure Nature Cure. So first of all, we need to identify the difference between the medical fraternity, medicinal fraternity, and the natural health fraternity. As you see this in this Venn diagram, there is no intersection at all. If you see, this is absolutely disjoint. There is no intersection between these two sets. Medicinal fraternity and the natural health fraternity are different, and they are different in the basic understanding of the phenomena called disease. We'll understand in this talk only, we'll understand briefly what is the understanding of disease in natural health fraternity vis-a-vis the PNC, the Pure Nature Cure. Then coming to the bifurcation of the natural health fraternities also. So if we compare the natural health fraternity and the medicinal health fraternity, both fraternities are absolutely different, and you cannot actually compare these two. You cannot actually compare these two because these are absolutely different in their philosophy. So argumentation or debate of these two sessions cannot be done actually. That's not really valid and will not will not be able to conclude that debate. But definitely to understand this science, the inter science, if somebody is interested, really interested, then definitely one medicinal person can understand the natural health fraternities understanding, and natural health fraternity person also can understand the medicinal fraternity concepts. So yeah, thanks, Kirti. Kirti is remotely available, and thanks for this opportunity. So now coming basic difference between the fraternities, sub-fraternities of natural health. As you see in this Venn diagram, the PNC or Pure Nature Cure is a fraternity within the natural health fraternity, but there are few understanding which are non-PNC. So in this talk today, we'll try and understand this fraternity difference also, intra-fraternity difference also, right? One was the inter-fraternity difference, and this one is the intra-fraternity difference. Now let's try and understand the definition of PNC. PNC is dialectical understanding of nature and life, in which we understand that in nature, every life is structured to grow and maintain homeostasis without any specific dependency. So this specific dependency, this one is very important. This one is very important to understand. What is the meaning of specific dependency? Life cannot go without dependency, but the moment we depend on something specifically and start considering that without this particular aspect, we'll not be able to lead our life smoothly, that becomes an assumption and a roadblocker for a natural living. That is what is the primary understanding of PNC. Now, the specific dependency can be anything. That can be something substance, or something non-substance also. So in the substance, what all those things will come? One is the medicine for sure. Other is the supplements. That specific supplements only can give me the health. Specific medicine can give me the health, or any stimulants for that matter. Stimulants means starting from the tea, coffee, alcohol, drugs, whatever. So if we opt a lifestyle where we start considering that this specific stimulant or this specific substance is mandatory in my life, then we go irrational according to the PNC's understanding. And this actually goes beyond the just medicine, supplements, stimulants, but anything which is perceivable. Suppose we are fixated with procuring properties, that's also a specific dependency. So we need to understand these concepts under the light of specific dependency. Now coming to the non-substance specific dependency. Non-substance specific dependency can be anything which comes in your mind, which cannot be perceived or shown. That can be relation, that can be any imagination or assumption, or anything that is there in your mind. Without that thought, if you think that the life cannot run in homeostatic condition, then that becomes a roadblocker of the natural lifestyle. Now there is a footer actually. Specific dependencies occur due to intentional intervention. So I'm not sure guys if the slide is visible clearly. Can I get some thumbs up or comment in the comment box by the time I'll proceed to the next slide also. So just try to touch upon this particular specific dependency aspect. Specific dependency aspect is intentional driven aspect. This is actually created because of the intervention of human intention. So we can go deeper on this aspect, but I think with this limited span of time, going into that intentional analysis will not be possible. But I just wanted to touch upon that and mention about this. So in our day-long workshops and deeper aspects, actually we are coming up with a series of sessions also. I'll share those information in a while. So in that we'll go a little deeper in these aspects, which you can opt to join and understand. Now coming to that interfraternity comparison, understanding of disease. Now where the understanding of disease is different between the medicinal fraternity and the natural health fraternity. In natural health fraternity, the disease is considered as a celebration of life. It is a needful initiative of the body to bring back the homeostasis. We'll understand the flow, how disease occurs, and any disease that you bring up, that can be explained through this understanding of PNC. We have done it for years, and this is being done. It is not that Sai Solution has started this or Kalyan is proposing this. This is perennially, this is available with us. This wisdom is available with us. Just we need to explore dialectically, layer by layer. We need to unfold this truth. So understanding of disease differs in different fraternities. Now this particular convergent cone, will help you to understand how this differs. Now if you see this bigger trapezium on this cone, this bigger trapezium actually has thousands of diseases starting from diabetes, ankylosing spondylitis, high cholesterol, heart diseases, thyroidism, infections, including all those infections, SARS, corona, H1N1, whatever you talk about, and deficiency of any elements also, that you are suffering from iron deficiency, you are suffering from calcium deficiency. These all we keep hearing, right? So those are considered as different diseases. In nature cure understanding, in pure nature cure understanding, we don't identify those as disease at all. Those are just the symptoms of single disease, which is toxemia. In the smallest triangle that you see, the toxemia. right? And in the smaller trapezium, there are three names mentioned. One is the innervation. One is the innervation. Hi, Sinduri. Welcome to the session. So one is the innervation, other is the toxemia, and third is the deficiency. Now these three things, these three blocks actually are parts of three fraternities, three different fraternities. The first category, which is the bigger trapezium, here what you are seeing, this one. Let me use some other color. So this one I'm talking about. This one is allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda, whatever the medicinal route, they all consider all the existence of all these diseases. Right? Now, in naturopathy, the herbalism, so pure nature cure is not naturopathy. This is the one clarification that we need, that pure nature cure is not naturopathy. Naturopathy is basically the herbalism, where the herbs are used as medicine. This is also not identified in pure nature cure. So the difference between the herbalism and the pure nature cure acceptance of disease is this deficiency. Innervation is identified in pure nature cure. We'll talk about the innervation little bit in preceding slides, but deficiency is definitely not identified in pure nature cure understanding of disease, right? So in pure nature cure, there is a single disease, which is nothing but toxemia. Now, what is this toxemia? We need to understand. Now, let's quickly understand what is the meaning of toxemia in this slide. By that time, I would like to request all of you, you can just post your questions in the comment box. Whenever the time permits, I'll pick up the questions and I'll keep responding to those, right? Hope you guys are able to comprehend what I am explaining. Yeah, I see around 26 people live. So thanks all of you for joining this. Yes, understanding the formation of disease. Understanding the formation of disease actually starts with one understanding, which is the vitality. The vitality is the concept which makes the foundation in pure nature cure understanding of health and life as a whole. So primary consideration in pure nature cure about vitality is that vitality is not expandable. Vitality is the life force with which we lead this life. The body is something, but within the body, there is some force which is non-perceivable that helps us to run this body and run this life as a whole. So all the activities, starting from the blinking of eyes to deep thinking, whatever it is, we actually use vitality to execute that. So now, after identifying the vitality, the next concept is the vitality is not expandable at all. Vitality is not expandable at all. Yes, Sinduri, please ask the question at the end of the session. Thanks for attending it. Yeah, Kirti is also attending. Yeah, I'll be sharing my coordinates, Kirti, so that audience can reach out to know further about the understanding aspect. Right. So vitality is not expandable. I was talking about vitality can only be managed. It cannot be expanded. That is the primary understanding. So why it is, and the deeper aspect is, this is not just an assumption. There is cause and effect connection that we explain in our workshops. So with that building up, the next point comes, the stimulation and suppression. We are driven by our voice of the organism. We are driven by our voice of the organism, which are basically pleasure and the pain. Pleasure conserves vitality. When we accept the stimuli of pleasure, when we opt pleasures in life, we conserve vitality. That's the programmatic aspect. And when we accept pain, we actually deplete our vitality. So for the pain, we need to reject that stimuli. for the pleasure, we need to accept the stimuli. But what happens, because of the intentional intervention, we have created artificial pleasures. Those are nothing but stimulations. Stimulations means starting from the cooked food, any kind of processed food, comparing to the natural food. For example, mangoes. This is the season of mango. Mangoes are pleasurable to the tongue, but the artificially mango jam can be prepared. That also is too pleasurable. Then we get confused with our voice of the organism identification. So voice of the organism is the indicator to identify whether it is conserving the vitality or not. So pain we need to reject, pleasure we need to accept, if that pleasure origin is natural. Now if it is unnatural, artificial, and we are accepting, we are actually depleting, engaging more vitality, and that is nothing but the innervation, the third point. So when we undergo that overstimulation and suppression, what is the meaning of suppression? Suppression means the stimulus of the pain is not rejected but accepted by suppressing the pain. For example, consumption of chili. We don't recommend consumption of chili at all. Chili is painful singly. Now what we do in practice is we mix chili with something else and we just bluff our gatekeeper, which is the tongue. So this particular aspect is nothing but a suppression of painful or irritating taste of chili, and that depletes our vitality, that engages more vitality. Now the innervation reduces the eliminations. Simple as that. Elimination means what? Whatever we are eliminating from the body, the toxins, those actually get reduced in our process of innervation. When we innervate ourselves, the last activity, which is the output, get reduced. So the eliminations are nothing but the urine, sweat, and the breathe out, toxic breathe out. So kidney, lungs, and skin are the eliminating organs. So these get reduced, and when the eliminating toxin are not going out and retained in the body, that time what happens? The retention of the toxin happens. That is nothing but the toxemia. This is the what is the toxemia? The retention of the toxin because of the reduced normal elimination. Now when we undergo a state called toxemia, that time it triggers some kind of spatial elimination, because body tries to bring, so it is a programmatic purpose of the body to bring back the homeostasis. So that time body brings back the homeostasis in the way of spatial elimination, and the spatial elimination is nothing but the primary fever. Fever is a great tool. It is a foremost friend of us. This is not at all a foe. So fever, through the way of fever, we actually throw that excess toxin from the body to bring back the homeostasis, and that is the disease, and that is the celebration in pure nature. And we also identify, irrespective of different origin analysis of pleasure is a must. Thanks, Minu, for commenting this. So eliminating organs are kidney, lungs, and skin. Yes. So whenever body triggers the spatial elimination, we undergo a crisis. We have tremendous discomforts, and those discomforts actually indicates body to rest. When we rest, body comes back to the homeostasis on its own. We need not to intervene at all. Just the responsibility during healing crisis is rest, physically, physiologically, and psychologically, right? So that is also known as acute disease. The moment we suppress an acute disease, we actually chronify it, and we head towards a lot of chronic diseases. So those all aspects that we pick up in our longer workshops, the chronification and all those stages. Now coming to the intra differences, intra comparison. So within the natural health fraternity, in the natural health fraternity, understanding of disease is quite common, but the understanding of understanding is little lesser in few of the fraternities. where the understanding is not given that much of importance, where experience is proposed. So those are kind of recommendation based approaches, where understanding the cause and effect is not that much given importance, which is given in pure nature cure. The primary objective of PNC is the understanding. After that, you create your own prescription and create your own formula. That is what is the proposal in PNC, right? Now, before concluding, I'll just walk you through a few comparison of nature and life. So, our all seminars and workshops we conduct under the name of understanding of nature and life. So, this understanding of nature and life actually leads us to understand and compare nature and life. So, primary in PNC, we don't propose the formula for the life, but we know that the for life needs a formula. So, we focus on a framework. Nature has got a framework. We try to observe that and bring it on as a proposal. Then we expect the individual, the owner of the life, will create a formula for themselves. So it is the framework primary which actually gets translated into a formula by the individual. That is what is the proposal in pure nature cure. Now in nature, what is the common entity? The efficiency. The efficiency is very much common in nature. In every aspect, the natural aspect is actually efficiency is confirmed, and we copy that, and we also bring in our created aspects the efficiency. And what is the meaning of efficiency? The meaning of efficiency is the conservation of the energy. Any machine, if you claim that this machine is efficiently working, the meaning of that machine is conserving energy a lot. So without the conservation, efficiency cannot happen. So, and in life, the organic longevity is the primary efficiency. What is the meaning of organic longevity? That sometime inorganically we may expand the lifespan. That is not the organic longevity. So with the medicinal support, or with in hospitals, we see that the life support tools. So those are not the organic longevity. When you expand the organic longevity without any specific dependency, that is where you actually subscribe to your efficiency, right? And as I shared, that efficiency is connected to the conservation. So everywhere in the nature, we see the conservation. And we have a tool in our individual lives that the voice of the organism confirms the conservation. As I've described, pleasure means acceptance and conservation. Pain, rejection and conservation. If we do different, we go actually haywire and we actually compromise with our conservation. Now in nature, there is a confirmation of conservation also is there. In nature, if you closely observe everything, starting from a leaf to any organism, most of the organisms are mirror symmetry. Not only symmetry, but mirror symmetry. Like in this particular butterfly that you see, that if you just plot an axis in between, you'll see both the sides are same. And this actually confirms that conservation. In execution, the structure of the organism. And the life also has got a law of unity, which is the connection between all the lives and all the entities in nature. So this is the ultimate principle of pure nature cure, the law of unity. The voice of the organism is a primary stepping stone, or the primary principle to understand pure nature cure. Now going forward, the nature has got calamities and life has got disease, but both has got a single objective of homeostasis and the health, right? So finally, in nature, this particular aspect of homeostasis is maintained due to one phenomena, which is impermanence, the change. Unless the change happens in the nature, the homeostasis cannot be maintained. And at the physical level, we have a tool called an action called, which happens at the physical level, metabolism, which actually helps us to maintain the homeostasis. So I'll not further go deeper in this aspect, and I'll request people to bring their questions. I get a question from Meenu. Can we explain with examples for if we don't like taste something and we consume? So if we don't like a taste, that actually is not conserving our vitality. That we need to understand. Now we need to also understand the framework of nature. If Homo sapiens is meant to consume that taste, then you have to understand that your taste bud had been conditioned. You have to work on that strategically to reverse or resensitize your taste bud. Now we are having an upcoming interactive session of series of 7 sessions starting from Monday, 3rd August, 5 to 5:30 in the evening. So the coordinates are given here, and you can just go to our page, which is fb.com get-solution/live. So this will be available for 7 days consecutive, right? And otherwise we do conduct live workshops, day-long workshops. To join, you can just note down this WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp us to join these workshops. You will get the coordinates or the links to join, right? So with that, I conclude my explanation. Now I'd love to take your questions. Maybe in the comment section, you can, after the live gets over, you can post your questions in the comment. Then we'll make a point to share those, the answers to that, responses to those, right? So I don't see any comments here. Yes, thanks Meenu for sharing this. This is the link. Yeah, Sinduri has got a question. How food, eating healthy, more in natural form, and body vitality is related, and to what extent eating for pleasure and eating for one's body bodies need related. So if we understand the voice of the organism, we will be identifying the need of the body. So we need to first, in this journey, we need to decondition it. So we are conditioned with cooked and processed food or the created taste, so we need to decondition that slowly and gradually, so that we are tuned to the natural taste. There is another question, I'll take that, Rajiv. So there's a natural taste. When we opt the natural taste, natural single taste is the primary aspect. Objectively, if we can reach there, that's the conservation. So food actually takes a lot of vitality in the process of digestion and assimilation. So if the food is naturally tasty, then it actually attracts lesser vitality in the process of digestion and assimilation. That's how we conserve a lot while actually consuming natural food. Now, a question from Rajiv, how to improve mental efficiency? It's a great question and very deep question. So what we recommend, to start with the food change, and the way you are structured, the way you will be actually performing. Performance is related to the structure, and structure is related to the primary inputs. So if you are actually having some mental challenge, suppose, which are for say, like, you give different names like depression, anxiety, frustration kind of thing. So if we can just for a month, if we change the food, then from the physical, the neural aspect gets changed also. So the dialectics of these are a little deeper to discuss, which we will be definitely doing in the upcoming live series and also in our workshops. So just a clue that physical governs the physiological and further the psychological aspect. Then it actually, when it overpowers the psychological aspect, when it overpowers, we actually find it's unmanageable. But if we start from the physical level again, then the things get settled, right? So there's a question from Nihar. Considering the taste, fruits are the tastier than other food like vegetables. Can we take only fruits in our diet and sustain? So only fruits we can opt, but that needs little more discussion and understanding. Only fruit, like we need the nuts also in our life. So the consumption of nuts should be very less comparing to the fruits, but only fruits in PNC we don't recommend, because over time we have been evolved to taking even cooked food. So even cooked food is also recommended in PNC, but the problem happens when we go for overstimulation and overstimulation of the taste. So taste creation is one thing that we need to understand. There is no problem in eating cooked food, but eating with spices and salts and all, that time actually we compromise with the conservation of vitality. For example, the cauliflower in raw form is not tasty, but if you steam it, it becomes tasty, softer and consumable. So that way we can conserve vitality even by heating, boiling or steaming. There's a question from Kirti. How can a person be healthy in urban environment where purity of basic things is a question? Yes, I agree, Kirti. This is a challenge, but we categorize this challenge in three verticals, three domains. One is the genetic domain, other is the environment domain, and the third is the lifestyle domain. So lifestyle is definitely under the control of the individual. So we have got a lot of role to play on the lifestyle area to overcome the challenges of the environment and even the genetics, right? So just to give a short answer to this can again have a longer answer. So there is a question from Sinduri. Right from the ape to the stone age, man, the necessity of food was only based out of hunger, and more he got civilized, did the body constitution changed. Can we throw some light on how food is responsible for maintaining our body constitutes, the genetic aspects also? So this is very long question, Sinduri. I welcome you to the future series, but definitely see, the thing starts at the physical level, then it grows to the physiological, then it grows to the psychological. If we understand this connection, and the physical aspect and the physiological aspect primarily are dependent on the food, the choices of the food consumption, the way we consume the food, these all actually makes a lot of changes in our body structure and the health layers. So that's definitely is one aspect. And from the stone age, the evolution that you talked about, yes, evolution have been done, but the voice of the organism is still intact. So it's a very short period of 70,000 years where Homo sapiens have evolved, but the voice of the organism is still intact. So we need to understand that beauty, and we need to bring our intelligence, higher intelligence, to overcome the challenges that we have created unknowingly or knowingly by our intellectual interventions, right? So with that, I'll end today's session. I've overshot the time. It was actually 30 minutes session. It's 33 minutes already. Okay, there is a comment from Meenu. Is there anything we can take care of other than food? Yes, other than the food is the starting point. But there are 10 factors that we discuss elaboratively in PNC, where the scope of conservation of vitality are there. Okay, there is a question from Nihar. Apart from food, should we concentrate on pure? Yes. The same question, Nihar. So there are three domains that we propose. One is the input domain, second is the activities domain, and third is the thought domains. So all these three domains are interconnected, and total 10 factors we discuss in our workshops to manage the vitality. So in the input domain, one factor is the food. So other than the food, there are 9 factors, including radiation, the air, fresh air, the pure water, the spine care, the exercise, sleep pattern, the sexual understanding and activities, and rational understanding, and the mindfulness. So all these 10 factors actually help us to conserve our vitality a lot. With that note, we will be okay. There is another question. So questions are popping up. Can you explain the healing crisis? So healing crisis is one trial of the. Let me bring that particular slide. So this is actually endeavor of the body. Healing crisis is this fifth point, when the body accumulates a lot of toxin. That time, to bring the balance, that extra toxin is to be thrown out through the spatial elimination. And those spatial elimination is nothing but the toxins. That is the healing crisis. I'm so sorry. The healing crisis. So this is nothing but the fever, primarily fever, which may have uh, associated different kind of symptoms, right? So with that note, there's no more questions. So I don't like to keep any questions unanswered if it is available live. So with that note, I'll conclude the session. And thanks for joining us. And we'll hope you all to see you in the next series starting Monday on our page. Thank you.